Today I'm doing a review on the Columbia River Knife and Tool NOBO. It's a bearded tomahawk, basically, I guess is what you could call it. The overall length is just a touch over 19 inches. It's made out of 1055 carbon steel, which I've had it out and about for almost a year now, and it hasn't rusted. It's held up actually quite well. It weighs in at 1 pound and about 9.5 ounces. On Amazon you can find it right now for $60, although right at 58 bucks. The sheath is going in at about 18, which you can either make one, but I recommend carrying it with a sheath because it will take a nasty edge. It's got a hickory handle, oval. The hickory handle, this is a modified one, as you can tell. The hickory handle come in with a really nasty clear coat on it that was slick and would shift around in your grip, and I do not like that at all. So I scraped it off, sanded it down, and the easiest way I did it was I just took a somewhat semi-sharp knife and just drug the blade down it and scraped it off, and then a little bit of light sanding, you got it. Then the head kept, which is typical with a lot of these, the slip-on heads, especially with the handle that's been clear coated. Those things, I don't like clear coat on a handle. It's just a pain in the yak. The handle kept coming down, and even after I got the clear coat off, it kept sliding, or the head kept sliding down. Drive it in, it'd still come off after a little bit of use, and that's rather annoying. So one of the old frontiersman's tricks, blacksmith and along that line, you don't see it too much anymore, and my grandfather showed me, was you take the end of the head, where the end of the handle where the head sits, and this works on all kinds of tools, and you char it a little bit. You don't catch it on fire, you just char it just a little bit. It doesn't take a lot. Just char the outside, then you drive your handle on, and you don't even really have to seat it all that hard, but seat it where you want it and it'll stay on there. Since I've done this, it has not worked loose. Like I said, it's been almost a year. It hadn't worked loose. You can pop it back out if you want to, but I haven't bothered because I carry it like this. But it stays there. I've cut Osage trees with it. If anybody knows about Osage, that stuff is hard as woodpecker lips. I mean, they used to make wagon wheels spokes out of it. This stuff is hard. Makes great bows, but it is, I think, 75 pounds a cubic foot. It's a heavy, dense wood, and it does bad things to steel edges. And this has held up good in that. I've cut everything from cedar, cottonwood, osage, oak, you name it. And the head hasn't loosened up. So the trick does work. I've seen some people just freak over it that I've ruined it, but I don't know. You see it's been used pretty heavily for a year, so you know, you can see the marks and stuff on it where it's been out. The sheath, what I'm going to do to it is I'm going in with probably some light engine oil and putting drops on the inside and letting it soak up, make an oiled leather sheath, which works good when you have carbon steel if you're not eating with it. So that works good. But there's the head, and you can see the charred bit, but it's on there tight. It's stayed on there, and I like it. Okay, now the other thing, once I scrape this down, once I scraped all the clear coat mess off, is I used boiled linseed oil on it several times. It makes just a little bit want to hang in your hand a little better, I think. Protects the wood. I need to do it again. That's something you need to do every so often, which doesn't hurt the wood any, and it helps it out. And I like boiled linseed oil. You could use things along that line. I've seen and heard of people oiling them, but I haven't tried that one with the wood. But this is the CRKT NOBO, as you can see on the The other thing that I'm going to do is, I'll show you here in a bit, is this is the cordage videos that I've been doing. You make up a nice long length of cordage. Like that. I'm going to wrap this. You can do it with 550 cord if you want. You can do it with whatever you want. But it's my gear. I tend to use what I make. That way it's more personable to me and it's mine. You know, you can get online and look at how other people do things, and you can do that. But if you make your own gear, nobody's going to make the same thing the same exact way. So it becomes yours. Just kind of a little quirk of mine. But this cord, I don't know how many feet of it I got, but I got quite a bit. What I did was I wrapped the handle as I was making it down to where I wanted it. This will be for the grip. The only thing I don't like about this handle, besides the clear coat that was on it, there's no indexing. I kind of like almost an oval teardrop where you have just a very slight ridge going down. So that way you can pick it up. You don't even have to look at it. And you know where if the teardrop of the handle is in line with the edge, you automatically know where that edge is at without even looking, which kind of makes it a little safer as far as I'm concerned. Knives, everything like that, I like an indexed edge. Just kind of my thing. But when I'm using this choked up, I like the feel of this. This is just braided jute cord that I made, which you can get anywhere. You can use cattail cord, you can use whatever cord you make. But in my other videos, I'm showing how to do this with people that don't have access to stingweed or cattail or whatever, but still want to make their own personable gear. There it is. All right. We have, what I'm going to do is start up near the head. This is going to be kind of awkward, and I'm going to put a series of half hitches in, but I got this knot, and I'm going to seat it clear up under. So I'm going to make a kind of an index line. Half hitches, if you just put them in around, they'll circle around as you go down the shaft with the knots, which isn't exactly what you want. So you twist it over the end one way, then you go the other way. All right, that's how I'm going to secure it. The knot's going to be clear up top. I'm going to run this underneath so it'll stay. But yeah, you'll be able to take it off if you want to. All right, you come down to, flip it over. Hold the head. You don't want this to pop loose right at this point because it will. Come down to this end with your cordage. You form a loop. Remember, okay, if you twist over, the next one you're going to twist the loop under. You pull it down the length of the handle. You pull it tight. Bring the handle back. You flipped it over the last time like this, so you bring it back the other way. Slip it down the handle. Like so. Now pull your cord through. You want to make sure that's underneath at this point, because you're securing the knot and everything. And you want your loops to run down here. This is what you're going to index on. So as you're doing that, you can see where it's starting to walk back and forth. It'll become more apparent as I do it a little further. And that knot is secured now. It'll leave a little bit of gap you can push up, but that's no big deal. Okay, the only thing now you have to remember is which way you went the last time, which will become apparent if you mess it up. There's got a few loops on here. You don't have to hold it. I kind of like this form of grip on here. You can see where it's going. Okay, now spin the rest of this on and we'll see and I'll show you after I get it. Okay, once you get some on there, like so, the alternative method to lashing this is where your knot comes down, come across, pull it through, just a series of half hitches. Okay, the way it's going, your string wants to run out this side, so bring a loop across, bring it back across, around the handle, and up. Pull it tight. If you keep going, you're coming out this way. If you do that, you'll get a straight line like this of knots, of which that's your fingers will feel that, and you'll know right where that edge is indexed at. If you go just one way around, your knots will follow the circle, rotate around the shaft, whichever way that you pull the knots through initially. I've done that on some things. Other things I like it like this. This makes a good index, and it's a good grip. Once you get all this done, you'll trim it up and you'll have a nice customized hawk. I didn't measure the cord, it just takes a lot, but what I did do when I was doing this was I just initially wrapped it around it, formed a quick loop up here and just wrapped it around it, and that gave me a rough idea of where I was at for cordage for what I needed, and just made it to that length. You can see as it's walking down, your string's getting shorter, and if you got this good and linseed oiled, you can feel it, the cord gripping tight, so you don't have to pull it stupid hard. But you can tell how tight that is on there. And you can probably, I don't ever do the grip area like that. You can do the grip area like this if you want. That's just a personal thing. Because with the linseed oil, it grabs in my hand well enough. What I may do is come down through here, come down the handle or something, and do something to the handle to where it indexes the edge. That's kind of my thought on that. I do like that edge indexing. Now we're down to the last of this. I don't know if I got enough to do one more wrap. Probably not. No, I do not. Okay, you can use this and tie it off and leave your cordage on there. If you're of the sort that likes beads and crap on their stuff, you can decorate this however. Trim that off. What I'll probably do is back it off a little bit, go up a couple, and then work it back down, and then just pull it through and pull it tight. But there's the handle, short of trimming everything out. This is a CRKT NOBO bearded hawk. I like the bearded edges. It gives it a little bit more. The bearded hawks, it gives a little bit more. This is almost a 3.5 inch cutting face, which isn't bad for a little hawk. It's light, feels good in the hand, works great. And for the price, it's a really nice buy.